Welcome to the PokerStars Arena, hosting the first ever Michigan Championship of Online Poker. Well, MICOOP 2021 is officially in the books. And last night, event number 55, the main event, was played to its conclusion. Tonight, we get to watch a cards-up replay of the final table. 9 playing down to a champion with a first prize of more than 56K. Hello everyone, I'm James Hartigan. Alongside me is Joe Stapleton.
Hello, my USA babies.
That was going to be my question, Joseph. How excited are you about covering online poker from the United States of America?
I'm so excited I can't even let you get your sentence out. You can color me red, white, and blue with excitement, James. Let's go. America.
Well, coming into 2021, PokerStars was already live in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Now add Michigan to the list. And what better way to celebrate the launch of PokerStars in the state than with the first ever MICOOP? Let's take a look at the series stats. The championship was played from the 20th of February to the 8th of March. 60 tournaments took place, attracting 31,991 entries, made up of 20,344 unique players. Total prize pool of $2.2 million, exceeding the series guarantee of $1.4 million, and first place payouts of $369,341. That includes the advertised first place payout in the main event of more than 56K. Well, let's speak to someone who actually played MICOOP. Thrilled to be joined this evening by Michigan's own Andrew Nemi. Let me just give you a refresh there, Andrew, because you have gone a little bit pixelated, but thrilled to have you.
Andrew was number one in the 3,991 entries.
So, Andrew, how was it being in Detroit, actually playing events during the first ever MICOOP?
Pretty cool. If you had told me that there was going to be a platform launching where it's just us Michiganders playing against each other, I might have said, it sounds a little weird, sounds a little sketchy, but find out it's PokerStars, one of the oldest and most nicely developed sites to be able to battle in a proper championship series like this. That's pretty cool. So it was a real good time.
Do they get internet in the Upper Peninsula?
I've only been there once in my lifetime, and I'm pretty sure they had it up there, if I remember correctly. So yes, I would say yes.
Now, obviously, Andrew, you've been playing and you've been streaming over the last few days. Tonight, you don't have to worry about the playing part. We're just going to watch the 9 finalists who made the FT of the main event. Let me give you the stats just before we get cards in the air on this tournament. A $300 buy-in for the main event and a guarantee of 200K. And I think it's worth pointing out that some of the guarantees were doubled midway through the series, and those guarantees were still smashed. So the total prize pool, with 1,284 total entries in the main, is $359,520. 179 players made the money. And now we are at the final table. Now we are down to 9. Everyone's locked up at least $3,759. You can see the jumps on screen as we go down from 9 to a winner, with the champion receiving that first place payout of $56,398. Now, we'll talk about the players as we analyze the action. There is one particular player who I want to highlight who made this final table, and that is Sexy Caitlin, who you might just be able to make out in the bottom right-hand corner. So Sexy Caitlin...
Make out with Sexy Caitlin? Oh, if I have to.
Played 47 of the 60 events on the MICOOP schedule, cashed 19 of them, made 7 final tables, won 2 outright, and chopped another, so arguably has 3 wins, plus was 7th in a 6-max PLO event, so that's almost another final table appearance. I mean, undoubted player of the series and a phenomenal accomplishment. We also have a player, SMFTT, or SMFT, who has a 2nd, 4th, and 2 5th-place finishes in MICOOP. Wow. And when you consider that there weren't actually that many events on the schedule when you compare it to a global series, that's pretty strong stuff, Andrew.
This is very strong stuff. I did get some intel on this player, Sexy Caitlin, and I don't believe, maybe you have some further information, James, not sure, but I did find out that that player is not named Caitlin, cannot confirm or deny whether they are sexy, but I believe it's a professional player, a male professional player who might not necessarily be from Michigan, but definitely an accomplished player for sure. Okay,
I do not know the real identity of Sexy Caitlin. I do know that action is underway. First hand of the final table. Blinds are 250,000, 500,000, and we have an under the gun raise from Ryan Horry with 9s, and we already saw 5s folded.
You must have played against a bunch of these players over the course of the Michigan Coop.
Yeah, you see a lot of the same faces in a lot of different events, as well as in the cash games. I did run into Sexy Caitlin in a few of the events, and while I was streaming, some of the audience members, those are the people that filled me in on the background on some of these players.
Well, as I said, pocket 5s were folded. Scotto with pocket 6s in the big blind. Might consider this worthy of a defend. Oh, alternatively, you can do that and stick it in the eye of your opponent.
I don't think this is going in the eye. I think these chips are going to Ryan Howery. Man, the big blind, though, it's tough, right? Usually they mean it. This is pretty
right,
light for a big blind shove.
It looks really strong versus an under the gun open.
So big decision on the very first hand of the final table. It is all in to call for Ryan. Scaro has them covered. And considering that Ryan did not come into this final table as the shortest stack, has to consider the payouts, has to consider the laddering opportunities.
I think Ryan probably just ran out for a Fago. Yeah, he's back.
A 7-4-4 flop, 3 on the turn, jack on the river, 9s hold, and that is a double up for Ryan, up to 19.6 million now. One other player to highlight very quickly is Giggly Grizzlies, who is in the $300 main event by virtue of a $30 satellite. Should point out that C. Bauer also won a satellite, but is on their second bullet, so officially isn't really a qualifier at this stage.
You gotta love the let's chop 9-handed. Oh, Smuft isn't having it. NL double J. It's always nice when players name themselves after us, James.
At least
I'm a little disappointed at the lack of Michigan references in the names. Where's Tim the Toolman Taylor? Where's Magnum PI?
I saw a couple in the mix. There's one that was just Michigan Rocks! ! There was another that was Thank You, Governor Whitmer. So I definitely saw the occasional one.
Not one single Insane Clown Posse reference?
Did not see that. Did not see any RoboCop out there.
Oh,
where are my juggalos at?
Joe, I missed a huge opportunity. In fact, Andrew, we talked about this last week. I have my RoboCop. I have my RoboCop mug. It would have been so appropriate for tonight's stream, and I forgot it.
I have a Tigers hat out in storage, and I was like, they're not going to let me wear it anyway.
So action has been folded to Scoro on the button. Opens with kings. And lay the pipe dream as Jack 5. Playing a 22 big blind stack. Folds.
He's going to take it a little easy with a couple of these short stacks out there. Doesn't want to get into any tricky situations. As you mentioned, some ICM implications.
Yeah. C. Bauer with pocket 5s. And Sexy Caitlin, who I think is the shortest stack, right? Sexy Caitlin with a 10 big blind super shoving stack, all in with ace queen, and assuming this gets folded back around to C. Bauer, will we see a call and will we be off to the races? Yeah,
Was C. Bauer the person that folded 5s moments ago?
No, I think it was Giggly Grizzlies who folded 5s on the first hand. You've already got 1.3 million invested. Only another 4 million to call. And here we go. It's a flip. And that's a set of fives for C. Bauer. Spade draw, but no spade on the river. So Sexy Caitlin becomes the first player eliminated from the final table, cashing for $3,759. And again, let's salute Sexy Caitlin for a phenomenal run during the Michigan Championship of Online Poker. 2 wins, 7 final table appearances.
Not a Caitlin, but definitely sexy.
Those are some sexy results, no doubt. Very, very good game, Sexy Caitlin.
So ace-6 opening here, and Giggly Grizzlies, the $30 satellite winner, gets it in with queens.
Dream spot for the new shortest stack at the table to see an open from middle position. And you look down at 2 queens in the big blind.
Ace-6 is never ahead here. There's no bounties on the line. I don't know if you really want to... Yeah.
A little bit bigger of an ace might have gotten in there, but that one a little too speculative, a little too light.
It is just the absolute worst ace. You can't flop a straight with it. It's going to be out kicked a lot.
Principal 22 wants to know, is this the real Andrew Nemi? Confirmed.
I was actually getting that question a lot while I was playing on the tables, because I went with my real name for the screen name. I had to put a couple of zeros in at the start and the end of it for some reason, but went with the real name and was constantly fielding that question at the tables.
Well, the most frequently asked question at the moment is either what is MICOOP or why is MICOOP? Well, look, we've had NJ Coop. New Jersey's had its own championship. PA Coop. Pennsylvania's had its own. So now PokerStars is live in Michigan. Along comes MICOOP. And this has been a phenomenally successful series. We ran through the stats at the top of the show. And I think it's fair to say that online poker is off to an awesome start in Michigan.
Yeah, there has been a great response to this series. A lot of poker players here in the state, as you can see. Should have an interesting hand develop here.
Yeah.
Might see another jam.
Punt and Stacks gets it in with ace-jack. And Scoro
This one.
quickly folds. See, I thought that was going to be more of a decision, actually.
Yeah. Maybe some history with punt and stacks. You know, if these folks played the entire MICOOP, it would be impossible not to run into these players over and over again.
I actually have punt and stacks marked as a reg. You can color code the players depending on what you think of how they're playing and things. I have them marked down as a reg because I was also playing the cash games, the PLO cash games, no limit cash games. And so I would occasionally see some players playing across multiple tables at full stacks and have punt and stacks marked down as one of those players.
So we've got pocket aces for Smuft. Meanwhile, Scoro sitting in the big blind with the snowmans. Num Num, pocket eights. So the standard open to just over 2x.
This could be a real big problem for ZS Scoro. Sometimes you raise and get 3-bet with fairly strong hands. Your emotion can get the better of you. You can get a little obstinate in spots like this. Obviously, a pre-flop call, totally standard. But let's see if ZS Scoro decides that they want to be the aggressor.
I think, for a moment there, I thought things were going to get complicated by punts and stacks trying some kind of like fancy move on the button with King 4 suited, but decided in the end to fold. And
expect to see a flop here.
Let's hope so.
And that is a flop that gives Smuft top set, and not the greatest flop in the world for a pocket eights.
The one time you don't want to flop a set is when you have aces. You're just like, why would you do this to me? Why would
Yeah.
you kill my action?
And a very dry board, too.
What?
Back-to-back hands, however. He's
Wow.
going to get another shot, apparently.
It's like, didn't win enough with aces on that last hand, so I would like another opportunity, please. Thank you.
Wow, the dream. Back-to-back aces on the final table of the main event of the Online Poker Championship.
It's like some weird table game stipulation in a casino that wants your business. Like, if you get dealt aces and don't win a big enough pot, we'll give them to you again on the next hand.
Joe, you've had many bizarre promotional ideas over the years, and I think we can add that one to the list that will never see the light of day. Well, Ryan Horry calls with King 4. Does flop bottom pair.
This is exactly the kind of hand where you're going to end up chunking off a little bit more.
Could get pretty interesting here. This flop, you would think, might favor the big blind's defense range. He's going to lead right out.
Oh,
Very
Ryan.
interesting.
Ryan, careful. Ryan, by the way, came 12th in event number 53, which was held the same day as the main event. So 2 deep runs in 2 of the final tournaments on the MICOOP schedule. There's the raise from Smuft with the overpair.
Just like we weren't sure if Caitlin was sexy, we're not sure if Ryan is hoary. There's no way to tell.
I think with this 16 million chip stack here on this kind of a board, bottom pair. Oh, I take it all back. Whatever I was going to say.
Rewarded.
Wow. Spikes the king on the turn for 2 pair. Now has the advantage.
How many people out there on Twitch, by the way, are smiffed right now? How many people just play this perfectly? Oh, I know they have a piece. I'm going to raise, but just enough so that I have to get called. I don't want to chase away my action. And then they just always hit the miracle on the turn every time.
All I'm going to say, Joe, in defense of one of our PokerStars colleagues, sometimes when you have aces, they might have 2 pair and you might need to fold them.
Who is this that I need to learn from?
Okay, it all goes
Huge
in.
pot.
And that 5 on the river pairs the
Counterfeit!
board. Aces and 5s
Wow.
beat kings and 4s, and that's another elimination. Ryan
Wow.
did get it in good, but Smuft gets there on the river, and Ryan Horry becomes our 8th place finisher, cashing for $5,274, and we are already down to 7.
James, I have been asked by some of the local businesses if I could do some shout outs, like Devereaux Wigs. Quick shout out to Devereaux Wigs. Their wigs are not made from the hair of dead people. They just want you to know that. Devereaux. You guys know the commercial, right?
Stapes, I can't believe you just moved on so quickly. You recovered from that dramatic roller coaster that last
It's
hand.
online poker.
Right into the wigs.
I knew our viewership would be up after that monster hand. No, I do like to see the justice for the aces there. I'm sorry, Ryan Horry.
Fair enough. What a dagger in the heart for Ryan to go out on the final table in that fashion. But best hand won.
And now we find punt and stacks all in, open shoving with king, queen suited. NL Double J seemingly with a decision, ace 10 offsuit.
I guess it's worth mentioning too what a dominant force Smith can be now. With 43 million in chips.
Yeah, blinds
Yeah.
now up to 300,000, 600,000. 15-minute blind levels throughout the MICOOP main event. And it is
Expect to
on
always see a raise here.
Smuft on the button.
Never
No,
mind.
not this time. I choose not to run. Andrew, have you, I know it's weird because things aren't really open. Have you gone out at all in Michigan since you've been back during your downtime?
So this was quite the grind. I was streaming every evening. The tournaments usually start in the evening after work hours, and fire these tournaments up somewhere around anywhere from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and go every night, stream until midnight or 1 a.m. So it's been quite the grind, and I've been locked in here on that grind as we see an all-in, perhaps a call here with ace-6 suited. I would not be surprised.
Yeah, blind v blind. Seabauer shoving on punt and stacks. It is all in to call. Ace-6 is ahead marginally.
So you didn't go to dinner at Top of the Paunch?
I haven't. There's still a couple nights left, though.
I don't even know if it's open.
This is a somewhat interesting spot. He doesn't really want to bust before Giggly Grizzlies does, who has about, I think, 10 big blinds. I think blind 600,000. So would prefer that player to bust first, but E6 suited, blind versus blind. Second shortest stack here.
Yeah, eating into their time bank. But hey, if it's the final hand you might play, may as well use all of it. 100 seconds left to make a decision and decide whether Ace-6 is worth going with.
Eating into their time bank like I'm about to eat into these better-made potato chips. Seriously, there's probably only one person who appreciates this stuff, and it's Andrew. How many of you in chat are from Michigan? I did a ton of research for my triumphant return to the United States of America.
Well, I tell you, there is one person
I definitely appreciate it.
Definitely in Michigan in the chat, because they're at this final table and they're clearly reliving yesterday's action. It is the player who wishes it to be known that the name is pronounced Z-Score-O. You got it. And congratulations on making it to the final table. Please do not spoil the action as Punt and Stack gets it in with 10-9 against Ace-Queen. Straight draw, Queen on the turn, Queen on the river, and we lose another player from the final table. Punt and Stacks is out in 7th place and cashes for just shy of $7,500. We are now 6-handed.
Action is fast and furious here at this final table.
Z-Scoro says if we're looking for a Michigan pro to talk to, we could hit them up. Z-Scoro, it's entirely possible we may want to interview a Michigan pro, not on this broadcast, but at some point.
It could make sense to get a pro on here who has accomplished more than 6 min cashes or so throughout this series.
So now we have satellite winner Giggly Grizzlies as the short stack with 10 bigs. Smiffed still chip leader with more than 42 million. And we have a blind on blind situation. All in with Ace-7 from Lay the Pipe Dream. Smiffed faults.
So yeah, it's been pretty cool to just play against. I mean, I'm sure some people have traveled in from other locations to play a major tournament series, but it's a pretty unique moment in time to just be able to play against other Michiganders, because eventually I'm sure the player pool here will be merged with PokerStars markets that you mentioned earlier, James.
Yeah.
But for now, just ring fence to Michigan, so it's a pretty interesting time.
And that is the dream, right, Andrew? The idea of shared liquidity with Pennsylvania and New Jersey, and the idea that you could have, wow, an all-in with Deuces racing against Ace-8. Deuces holding.
Like 8 Mile versus Home Improvement.
Barry Greenstein makes an appearance, the ace on the river, and that will eliminate Giggly Grizzlies in for $30, cashing out for more than 10K, $10,380 for their 6th place finish. But yeah, if we can get to that point, that is a substantial poker market. That's going to be one of the bigger poker markets in the world.
Absolutely. Yeah, that'll be great. And then it's just an exponential sort of thing. Each time another state comes on, that just encourages the next state to advance their own legislation, because it makes it more valuable, more tax revenue, potentially, for that state. And so it seems like online poker in the United States is in a pretty interesting and I guess some potential positive developments on the near-term horizon.
Look, when Delaware happened, we were all just kind of like, all right, well, it's Delaware. But Pennsylvania, Michigan, you could do a lot worse for a size of the market. Pretty exciting, all within the last couple of years.
So this is domination rotation as Z-Scoro pairs their 10, and Queen Jack continues. C. Bauer firing 1.5 into 3 million. Half pot bet. Oh,
Ooh,
dear.
Action card.
Danger.
Seabauer improves, in inverted commas, to top pair, but it is top 2 for Z-Scoro.
Z-Scoro loving it. This is going to be a card that Seabauer can fire another barrel at as a bluff. Happy to see that. But hoping it also somehow improved Seabauer. This time in particular.
I'd like to think that Seabauer is the actor Chris Bauer.
Who? I'm sorry, I was thinking of Jack Bauer. Who's Chris Bauer?
Frank Sabatka. The target's name is Frank Sabatka.
Sure. Was recently in the Denzel Washington thriller The Little Things.
Ace on the river. Puts a potential straight out there. And
Maybe this
neither
helps
player has pot
Seabauer.
behind.
Pretty interested to see what's going to happen here. Sitting in Seabauer's shoes, sitting in his seat. It's pretty tough. You don't have any clubs, so maybe your opponent somehow picked up a club draw. You do have a jack, so you block that turn straight draw. And with the rivered straight. So some good things and some bad things happening in this hand. And it's a pretty tough spot here. You're gonna
Not
have to call
blocking
off your
ace
entire...
10, which I think would be a strong candidate for playing this way also. Queen 10, ace 10.
Gonna have to call off your tournament life. It's gonna be quite the hero call. Still not the shortest stack if you decide to lay it down here.
I'm actually surprised, based on the field, you'd think being of relative amateurs, the amount of time bank being used. A lot of credit here for taking this long to think. I've never used this much time bank total.
Makes
Nice
the
laydown.
correct fold, and that is going to see Z-Scoro pretty much tied with Smith for the chip lead, and looks like they have reached the first break. A reminder, of course, that this is a replay, so most of that break will have been excised. These are the final 5 players from a starting field of 1,284 in MICOOP event number 55. It is the Michigan Championship of Online Poker main event, $300 buy-in, prize pool of nearly $360,000, and a first prize of more than $56K, which one of these players is going to receive, or rather did receive last night. We're watching the action replayed, cards up tonight. If you do have inside information like Z-Scoro, for example, who actually played at this final table, please keep it to yourself. We're watching the action as live. We don't know what happened last night, so let's enjoy it as if it was happening right now.
What if you're Smuff01998 in chat?
Oh,
Who says, I wonder who that Smuffed guy could be?
interesting. Well, I guess you would, right? You'd be interested if, you know, having made this final table, if you'd had a decent score, you'd kind of want to relive the moment, right? And see how it went down.
This is like you can have a watch party with your friends and families, just like if you were at an EPT, broadcast. You could watch that with your friends and family. It's such a big score. You can watch the replay, relive the moment.
Yeah.
With 2 professional broadcasters doing it along with me.
Nice.
And I love this, by the way. Z-Scoro trying to pretend that the standard break is actually like the end of day 2, and that somehow they're going to come back for a third and final day of this main event. See you guys tomorrow. I don't think anyone is buying that one.
I'll allow it.
It seems like a free roll. You got to. Why not try? Why not fire that out there just in case someone disappears for the rest of the tournament?
So here we go.
I've never seen that before. It seems like a pretty interesting idea.
I like it. So 5-handed action continues.
Let's see how hard he sells it if he lets his time bank tick down all the way, too.
Z-Scoro says,
race.
it was worth a try. I considered timing out here.
See?
We'll see what C. Bauer does here, but this will be interesting if it goes blind versus blind.
Well, Bauer decides to open under the gun. NLJJ will not give it up. This is
Take two.
Well, initially, when they proposed a chop and Smurf went lol, NLJJ clarified and said, I'm not saying we should just chop it evenly. He did say chip chop. So officially, this is kind of take three.
Wow.
See no interest from anyone else.
Yeah. That awkward moment when you propose a deal and you literally get ghosted by the entire table.
I think, right, yeah. Smith, so far so good, homie.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Ah.
NLAA.
And this is where NLJJ is going to be double peeved about the fact that no one was willing to do a deal based on chip stacks, because that chip stack is about to get decimated. Not at risk here. I mean, we're assuming this is all going in here, right, guys? But we'll lose most of it.
It's always the one dude in the horror movie that doesn't want to go into the house that has the most horrific death. And that right here is NLJJ.
Drawing dead on the turn. And that means that Lay the Pipe Dream is up to 27 million and NLJJ has dropped down to 8 million and is now the shortest stack at the final table, but has the decency, the dignity to say NH.
If the 8 hits, you at least get to say you got doubled through with a full house. I had 8s full of deuces.
Well, you would think ace king versus aces is a bad enough beat. So rare. Run into the aces, not even have much of a chance at all.
No, it's horrific.
Raise and take it there. No action.
Yep.
Got another local business shout out here. Smith's Baby and Teen Kid Furniture wants to wish everyone good luck. They're the ones with the giant bunk bed on the roof. They want to wish everyone here in the first ever Michigan Coop good luck from the Smiths.
I was going to ask you if these are real businesses, but then you said the giant bunk bed on the roof.
You never been to Smith's Baby and Teen Kid Furniture? I'll send you a link later.
Like I said, I got a couple days here left.
Living the dream. Exploring fake businesses.
They got the Lime scooters all over downtown Detroit. I don't know if I mentioned I'm downtown Detroit in my Airbnb here. We don't have these things in Las Vegas. I know you guys have them in lots of other cities where you guys might be located, but
we have them.
Pretty fun to zip around. I mean, not exactly sure about how they're just scattered all over the place on the sidewalks and stuff, but pretty fun to zip around downtown on these things.
I don't like them because I'm too scared to ride them in the street, and riding them on the sidewalk is a nuisance. So I'm like, I'm out on the Lime scooters.
So we've got the shove here from Seabauer. Gets no action, wins it uncontested with pocket eights, and now ace queen for the short stack, all in. And this will probably get through.
All right, I'm rooting for an NLJJ comeback.
Do we need an NLJJ double up?
Yeah, that's exactly what we need. It's so awful, though. You're just waiting for a big hand like Ace King that you can just guilt-free get it in, and then you're like, no, you're actually drawing almost as dead as you can be pre-flop.
But yeah, this is, we say it every time we cover an event like this, Joe. You've cut through more than 1,280 odd players, and then that happens just when the possibility of winning and claiming that first prize is just in sight, just on the horizon.
All right, NL. This is, I mean, what a dream here that you've run into one of the only hands that can't even look you up for 10 big blinds. And
Should see
another
the same
shot
thing.
here.
Yeah. Well, decides just to make a standard
Oh,
open.
no.
But
Wow,
it's enough.
okay. That move has burned me a lot. Here we go. About to have another big flip.
Yeah. And this is going to be a race, ace, queen against pocket eights.
Like Ernie Banks versus Rick Mahorn. One of these two hands has the slight mathematical advantage. Wait, Ernie Banks from Chicago. I think I screwed that up.
I was going to say, I wonder if we'll see a call or a jam here. The problem is he has Smithed in the big blind with a ton of chips, but just decides to flat, and they're all in.
And eights are holding.
Come on.
And eights do hold. And that is not a double up for NLJJ. That is a KO. Our 5th place finisher cashing for $14,561 as Zscoro now has the dominant chip lead at this 4-handed final table with more than 50 million. And raising here with King 9.
So pretty interesting spot here. Lay the Pipe Dream is definitely going to not want to screw anything up while Seabauer is still in this thing with 9 million at this point. He's going to be getting out of the way. These two other big stacks and a short stack.
Oh, wow. Tom says, if someone asked for a chop now, that would be a needle. What would be the needle is if they did a chop 4-handed the moment that NLJJ got eliminated.
Especially if Smith proposes it.
Seabauer raising the button with ace 10. Blinds are up, by the way, to 350,000, 700,000. But this is a full 3x open.
Mm-hmm. It's probably going to have, it's going to have Z-Score second guessing whether he wants to get the king-queen in there with that big raise. Probably not too much fold equity after that size of an open.
And pretty decent flop for Seabauer. Top pair. Just over pot behind. Interesting that Lay the Pipe Dream decided to come along as well with Jack 7 off.
Right.
Seabauer keeping their head above water. Hovering around the 20 big blind mark.
Z-Score putting his foot on the gas here.
Well,
Bad time to continue.
top 2 for Smift.
It's a good board to fire out a C-bet, so can't really blame him here. Smift is loving this, obviously.
Now we saw Smith raise the aces when led into, and yep, we see a similar move here. I was wondering if maybe we might just see the flat call, considering our opponents are probably going to fire everything on this flop.
You have so much of the board locked up there, but it's just hate to see some sort of straight card come down there and not being exactly sure where you're at anymore. With so much at stake here with 4 left.
Totally can relate.
Z-Score opening with Jack 10 suited. Seabauer with ace deuce in the big blind. Does not defend.
Seabauer under 20 bigs now.
7-5. Raises small to big. And Z-Scoro with ace 4.
It's interesting that we see a different size open now being out of the small blind versus the big blind.
And that's almost counter to what you see from other players, Andrew. Often you'll see the smaller open from other positions, but in the small blind, that's when players will often increase their pre-flop opens.
Yeah, if you know you have to play the rest of the hand out of position, it's much better to just win it pre-flop more often. Put some more fold equity on your opponents. Just try and take it down pre-flop.
Bauer, unfortunately, assuming Z-Scuro might have repopped pre-flop with an ace and is double barreling into the wind. And now is facing a straight
Yeah.
after making a pair.
13.3 million in the middle. Bauer with less than 6.5 million behind.
Can't fault the flop bet or the turn bet. Some backdoors on the flop on an ace-high board. Should get the job done right there a lot of the time. Turn, gutter ball, fire the second barrel, but then clubs in, come in on the river, beating absolutely nothing here anymore.
All into call does not hero with just a pair of fives.
We got to get Z-Scuro for some Verners for that gut shot they just made, huh? You're feeling a little rumbly and you're tumbly. If you feel a gut shot, a little Verner's ginger ale will make you feel better.
Love it. Reminds me of visiting the grandparents.
So we are down to the final 4 players at this final table of the MICOOP main event. Bauer with ace-7. All in. Fewer than 10 big blinds.
Good luck, all-in player.
Good timing.
Oh, this is a good spot. Picking up ace-king here.
Wonder if Smurf just shoves on him with the queen tray.
Nope. Gets a walk.
Too good. Too good, Smith.
Really good.
3-2 should find the muck.
And is the rest of the final table kind of slightly handcuffed right now, Andrew? Is there an expectation that, look, Bauer's going out any moment now, so you don't want to get involved in any ridiculous coolers, confrontations, play big pots against any of the other players at the table?
For sure, if you're lay the pipe dream, it's the middling stacks that kind of have the most pressure, I guess, being in that handcuff kind of spot, because they really don't want to dip down and get into the danger zone themselves. The other 2 big stacks, they can take the somewhat marginal open occasionally. It's not going to cost them too big of a percentage of their stack if it happens to not go so well.
Well, Z-Scuro holding on to that chip lead, just moved over the 60 million mark after winning that last pot. Now lay the pipe dream opens with king 10 suited, raise and take it. Now it could be another raise and take it situation as Smith opens with ace queen. Sure enough.
Look, this final table's been playing at a perfect pace. However, it's been strange how few confrontational hands we've seen since the last elimination. Like, not a lot. There's usually one pre-flop hand that's worth anything, and that's about it.
See, this is
cautious flat call here.
Exactly what I love to see. This could turn into an unnecessarily ridiculously massive pot between the 2 chip leaders, where Bauer just gets to clap his hands going, yes, yes.
Yeah. He wants to see as many clashes that don't involve him as possible.
Yeah.
And this 4 is going to feel like the best hand sometimes, I think. Does check it.
Yeah, it looks like these guys want to play cautious versus each other.
River bet of 2.7 million with the jacks. And Z-Scuro has to decide whether it's a hero here with just a 4.
I think it's a really good price.
Yeah.
Really good bet sizing.
And having made that call, we see those 2 stacks even out now, both around 50 million.
Perfectly targeting a hand like a 4 or a 6.
This might get in here.
Indeed.
It's in.
It is.
Ace-8 at risk, however, had the best hand pre. Pair of aces on the flop, and that is a double up for Seabauer, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now Bauer and Lay the Pipe Dream tied on 12.5 million apiece.
Here's a confrontation.
Yeah, pretty interesting spot.
And ace high still good.
Full pot.
I'll take it right here, thank you.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh my goodness, again?
Unlucky. Unlucky.
Well, Lay the Pipe Dream did it to NL Double J, and now Lay the Pipe Dream is going to feel how it is to be on the other side of this cooler.
Ooh, a limp shove call. I haven't seen a cooler this gross since Grosse Point, Michigan.
And that
Beautiful.
is the
Beautiful.
elimination of Lay the Pipe Dream in 4th place, cashing for $20,427. We are three-handed now. Seabauer at the short stack and Zscoro back in front. Chip leader with nearly more than now 65 million.
Seabauer is loving life. Ladder's
yeah.
up there again after being the short stack there at
Yeah.
risk.
And that ladder not insignificant, 8.5 grand.
Sweet.
Where did you finish in this, Andrew? Did you cash?
I did not cash in this one, Joe.
Sorry.
My $300 is up for grabs here at this final table.
Well, to make it extra special, Andrew, let's just say that it's the 300 in the 398 that's added to the 56K that the winner's going to get, right? So when we say it's $56,398, that 300 is Andrew Nemi money.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
That's lucky money.
Enjoy it.
$10-5 versus King Jack, and King High still good.
See, Scoro keeps running into bigger hands, making these obligatory button raises. Hasn't really connected on any of them.
Pretty interesting board here. Definitely going to be firing the 3-3-4 pretty liberally with all of his holdings, I would assume. And then very well could consider a second barrel here on a card that's usually going to help the pre-flop raiser.
Well,
Wouldn't be surprised to see Zscoro give it up here.
yeah, it just keeps getting into these situations against Smuft.
You feel like such a goober folding your button, you know, when it's just so likely you can pick up the blinds and antes, and then it's just one step after the other. You're like, all right, well, a C-bet, I can probably win it. All right, well, double barrel, I can, and then.
Yeah, he ran into it there. I mean, he definitely wants to keep his foot on the gas as the chip leader, and knowing that Smith isn't going to want to step too far on a line with short stack in there. So definitely makes sense. Just ran into one of the worst hands he possibly could there on that board.
Well, this is an interesting decision for Smuft as Seabauer gets it in with ace-5. Do deuces call here? No, they don't.
Ooh.
Seabauer still hovering around the 20 big blind mark. 5-4 suited on the button. Opens. And gets shoved on by Smuft and is forced to fold.
The 6-deuce straight flush potential? Why
That
not?
is a very optimistic way of looking at 6-deuce suited.
He's trying, but
I
Smith
mean-
keeps running good on these flops.
And again, kudos for trying, but just like every time either Smuft has a strong hand or flops a strong hand,
Smuff in chat saying that was my third bet of the my third 3-bet of the entire tournament.
I'll believe you.
Really?
Thousands wouldn't.
I do believe it.
Yeah, that seems like a random stat to just throw out there.
Yeah.
If it wasn't true, that's pretty interesting.
I guess Z Scoro may be having some catharsis here, seeing how badly they're up against it in some of these spots. You can maybe sleep a little bit better tonight. I don't know how this finished, but some of these are probably nagging you a little bit.
We will find out. Queen, Jack. Losing to a pair of 4s. Here's the second barrel going to get this done.
Here. Real tough to call twice here. There is a gut shot now to go with that pair of 4s. Oh, no call.
Strong.
How about just the rest of it?
Well, a moment ago,
Too good, Smith.
I was talking about C. Bauer hovering around the 20 big blind mark. Now C. Bauer does not even have 10 bigs. Blinds are up to 400,000, 800,000. Smith applying the pressure. And C. Bauer very much in the danger zone.
Danger zone.
By the way, just looking at players who came close to making the final table, we could have seen players like Pinty Melon and Urine Fuzz in action.
Aww.
But sadly, they fell in 10th and 12th, respectively.
God, so tempting. Suited queen, that's got to be close. Under 6 big blinds. Yikes. What do you think, Andrew? Is this in your calling range?
Wow.
Very close. Very close.
1 heart.
Domination Nation and Queen 10 holds, and that is the double up for C. Bauer, but still playing a sub 20 big blind stack.
That's one of those few situations where I'm like, I think this is a call, but I'm not going to do it.
You can definitely afford it. Look at him. He's still got 58 million over there. Still the chip leader here. Seems like it was worth a shot.
Oh, boy.
Go on, guys. Take a massive unnecessary flip and
these
let's
two
see Bauer ladder up.
They've been playing more conservative than Jesse Ventura. Oh, wait, he was Minnesota, wasn't he? Dang it.
It's the wrong state. I don't think Michigan has had a governor who was in the running, man. Unlike Minnesota and California. So, Smith with the chip lead, 60 million. Scoro not that far behind with 55 million. C. Bauer still clinging on with 11 mil.
Begging for some cards.
Yeah.
Just not ace king because you're apparently.
Crazy that we saw that twice in such short time frame.
Okay, well, this could be a spot. Queen Jack opens, ace 6 for C. Bauer. All in.
This is going to be a spot.
And Z Scoro with pocket 9s.
I think we'll see a flat and a fold.
And C. Bauer
Nicely predicted.
needs an ace or another 6. No help on the turn or river, and we lose our 3rd place finisher. C. Bauer 6, 7, 8, 9 cashes for $28,657, and we are now heads up in the Michigan Championship of Online Poker main event. Smuft versus Z Scoro, and it is Z Scoro with the chip advantage right now. 68 million playing 58 million. Relatively deep. This could go the distance, this heads up battle.
Yeah, quite deep. Encourages Z Scoro to get in there with, I guess, 100% of the range. 5 deuce here coming in for the race.
deep, and obviously we've seen the way they play against each other is a little slap fighty to begin with. So
just going back to C. Bauer's situation, it's so horrible when you're the super short stack and you're only three-handed, right? There's nowhere to hide. You desperately need a hand that you can make a move with, desperately need a double up, and if you're just running badly, if you're just not hitting any cards, there's nothing you can do. You're just getting eaten up by blinds and antes.
Yep.
Well,
Smith's finding another top two with king jack off, rather.
yeah.
We said this could go the distance, but there could be a pretty big swing here if Z-Scoro gets really attached to top pair. I mean, top pair heads up.
That's going to be Z-Scoro's favorite card here.
.3 into 7.5. Still top pair.
Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised to see another peel here. See one more card and see what happens on the river.
Which is the 5 of spades.
Quite the brick.
You'd almost rather the river get worse for you than a nothing card like this. You still have a really tough decision with top pair.
Yeah, Smith definitely going to go for some value here.
Put the 10 of hearts out there so I can just fold.
Getting a pretty good price here. So it's one of those things where, this feels like value, but it's a good price, but it makes a good laydown.
Another good sizing from Smith, though.
(9-4) versus 6-4, so domination in Z-Scoro's favor, but this does not go to a flop. Now, this is a point. I know we were joking about the offers of Chip Chop earlier on. Considering how deep they are, considering the stack sizes, this is a situation where I could see them looking to even out variance and maybe narrow the 16K difference between second and first. But no one's floated the idea.
James, I don't mean to put you on the spot, so I'll just ask this as a hypothetical question, or actually Andrew could probably better answer than you. When was the software 100% similar to the regular PokerStars client? Did you notice differences other than the games being offered? Does it have all the same functionality of chops and...
Well, I didn't go deep enough in any tournaments to ever find out whether the chopping was going to be an option or a thing. But as far as the rest of the software goes, I mean, I actually haven't played on PokerStars in years.
It's been a long time for you on the other side, yeah.
Well, it's interesting because there's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of the same sound effects. And when I was streaming, there's other people that haven't played on PokerStars in a long time, and they're saying the sound effects are still the same from way back in the day. Yeah, when it's your turn and all that stuff. And I guess like it's missing a couple of the games that would probably not thrive in a one-state market that do okay in the global pool. So I don't think there's any short deck or maybe one or two other games. But it's coming from another state where they have another piece of software in a monopoly situation, where comparing it to this, where PokerStars has had to compete in a global marketplace for years and therefore improve their software. Here you go on the chops.
Oh, here we go. Look at that. Speaking of chops.
If not, all good. No pressure from Smith.
Well,
offering the chop when you flop top set with kings too is boss. That is such a benevolent ruler move.
That is a really
I can let you live or I can let you die. No worries if not.
So Z-Scoro says, I'm down to play. Fair enough.
Smith loves hearing that with top set.
And yeah, if a deal had been negotiated, by the way, the T's and C's state that they would have had to set aside $2,500 for the eventual champions. They still would have played it out, but they are playing for it all. A difference of more than $16,000 in prize money between second and first. Both guaranteed 40K, more than 56K up top. And what I find fascinating is both guys watching the stream tonight and discussing the hands they played as we're watching this unfold.
It's great content.
Z-score, I would like to know if there was any reverse tell at play there when you were just waiting to flop a good hand and then ask if the other player wanted to chop, or was that just had that question queued up and it just happened to be when you had top set? Z-score could consider turning this into a bluff, but I guess he chooses not to.
Credit to Smith for firing again here.
Yeah.
That's a pretty scary river card.
It'd be really interesting if he would face a check raise there. That would be a pretty gross spot, but it doesn't come to that. But yeah, I was going to say that I don't think either of these players seem to be getting out of line too much. So I would imagine that the question was genuine, and he sees that there's probably going to be a lot of variance here, and maybe not a big edge with the chip stacks being pretty equal prior to that hand at least.
So you know that alert noise you're talking about there, Andrew? That the first time I ever did a podcast for PokerStars was revolving around either Scoop or WCoop. I can't remember, and I thought it'd be funny to put that sound effect in the podcast occasionally, and just say nothing about it, so that when people were like, "Uh-oh, here we go." Anyway, I got in a lot of trouble, and it only lasted one episode.
Yeah, because understandably, most of the people listening were playing the events and they didn't find it amusing.
Correct.
So,
it was amazing. We got in so much trouble.
Wow.
Man, that's next level, Joe.
This goes to the flop, and neither player is going to be thrilled to see ace, queen, 5 come down.
Just fold the eights.
That's pretty interesting. Now it seems less likely that either player has an ace. Just going to slow it down a little bit here. Check it back. Take a street off.
Tell you what, this is my favorite type of board. It's a straighty, flushy paired board.
Trying to think what you can get value here from. Decides nothing. Checks it back.
And he was right.
So Smuffed with the advantage. Of course, not just playing for a difference of $16,000 in prize money. One of these two players will become the first ever MICOOP main event champion.
I'm jealous.
MICOOP #1. You want to be that minted #1. What a flop.
Just flopping flushes. No big deal.
This was happening to me so much lately, people flopping flushes against me. I looked it up, and I think it's something in like a 1 in 100 chance of flopping a flush.
I guess you're due for it not to happen for a while now then, Joe.
If only it worked that way.
See a raise and defend. Nothing going on for the Jack-7. Not really a good board to try anything on. Try anything funny.
So both players bought in directly to this event. Smuffed firing 2 bullets. Zscaro firing 3 bullets. Smuffed played 41 events on the MICOOP schedule of the 60 available. 21 cashes, 5 final tables, and a reminder that Smuffed had 2nd, 4th, and 5th place finishes in MICOOP side events. Zscaro only played 5 events, but is in the top 2 here of the main event.
Wow. You might play some more next year. Gonna have to call again here. The flopped top pair. No help for Zscaro here. Let's see what he decides to do. Got a blocker to a straight. 10 high is not going to win.
So when you mention the blocker to the straight, are you suggesting that like a bigger bet might be what you need to do here to rep that straight and get a hand like a 9 to fold?
Yeah, I would think so. I don't think you want to give your opponent too good of a price here. That's pretty chunky.
Yeah. Oh, a call here would be so demoralizing, and it happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't really think about it for too long either.
Now we see the not insignificant advantage to Smuft. 87 million playing 40 million. Better than a 2-to-1 advantage for Smuft.
Oh boy. Two pair versus
interesting.
open ender.
Very connected board here.
There's the straight.
Wise check back there from Z-Scoro.
I mean, how much are you hating two pair on this board? And now you face a bet of 4.8 million.
Yeah, it's pretty ugly. But I think you're probably just going to have to pay this off here. If there's ever some chance that your opponent is going to be value betting a jack, if you can beat some value bets, give your opponent credit for being able to value bet a jack there. Can't really blame him for the two-pair call.
Well, blinds up to 500,000 and a million, and a 3-to-1 chip advantage for Smurf. Now, fortunately, Andrew, we do have Joe Stapleton, the human calculator, with us on the stream. Joe, can you, to multiple decimal points, tell us how many big blinds the chip leader has right now?
I'll do as many as I can. Sorry, which one's the chip leader?
Smurfed.
Okay, now the human calculator. Now that I know who has more chips, the human calculator says Smuft currently, not counting the money in the pot, has 91.426822 big blinds.
Incredible. I don't know
how
he does it. I don't know how he does it, ladies and gentlemen. And no calculator involved there. No assists.
Human calculator.
Quite impressive. I see how you get that multi-year PokerStars contract.
No calculator, no typing, no phone. Your phone won't even go that many decimal places. Uh-oh.
Look at this hand.
Tell
The
me
nut
this is a
flush
call
draw.
brick.
Pretty strong there from Smith.
But you've got the king high flush draw.
But you don't have anything. You've got king high. Full stop.
Yeah. Very rough.
Such
I think you
horrible
gotta. I think you
position.
gotta lay this down.
23 big blinds. Very playable stack here. Very strong from Smith.
Smith, just not really missing.
Such a gross spot. Smith has moved over the 100 million mark, by the way. More than 100 bigs. Z-Scoro around the 20 big blind mark and facing a raise here with ace-7 of hearts. Defends. And Smith hits big again.
Can do it, buddy. Flopping good and playing good. It's a tough combination.
Super frustrating from Z-Scoro's side of things,
Yeah.
just to never have a value hand.
Wouldn't be surprised to see a peel here. 3 to a straight, 3 to a flush. Ace high could be good.
Uh-oh.
Picks up the nut flush draw on the turn. 8.5 million in the middle.
2 flush draws on board here.
Yeah. Maybe going for a check raise. Nope.
Makes the call and
Oh, that's
spikes the ace on the river. Barry Greenstein makes an appearance that does not benefit Zscoro.
Ooh,
But
check,
it
check.
goes check. And I tell you what, Zscoro now edging into the danger zone, 13 bigs behind.
Kings, life is good.
Wow.
This battle's starting to resemble Insane Clown Posse versus Michael Moore.
Ooh, gets away from it there. Good fold.
I mean, at what point, Andrew, does Smith just open jam on Zscoro?
Soon.
Yeah, probably pretty soon. He's not going to do it with 100% of his range, but this could be one of them.
Yeah.
This could be the one. Oh, nope. But it could get in anyway.
Yeah.
Raises to 2.1, ace-8 for Zscoro. We can see it would be a race, and we are flipping for the title. Sevens holding on the flop. A set of sevens on the turn, and that is it. A full house seals the deal for Smith, and we have our winner. We have our Michigan Championship of Online Poker main event champ. Congratulations to Zscoro, a second place finish worth $40,202, but it is Smith who takes it down and cashes for $56,398.35. And with that, MICOOP 2021 is officially in the books. That was a fast and furious final table, guys. It's a little over an hour, but it was a fun one.
Yeah, definitely a fun one. So a lot of interesting hands, a lot of coolers. Always fun to see two big hands go to battle. And what a series we had here for the first major tournament series here in Michigan on a regulated poker site.
Yeah, and obviously, Joe, just a little extra curiosity piece for us this week, but really fun to check in with one of the American series. Great to check in with the first ever major series played in Michigan, and great to have some of the guys who are playing at that final table watching the replay, watching the stream, and joining in the chat.
Having seen that, I think we can safely say PokerStars is the best thing to happen to Michigan since cars.
And on that bombshell, Andrew, thank you so much for being part of this evening. Obviously, appreciate everything you've done over the last week, bringing MICOOP to a wide audience, and it's been awesome having you with us for this replay this evening.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. It was exhausting, streaming like 9 days straight in a row or something like that, but definitely worth it. And I hope to come back here and get in the mix again. It would be great once we can mix the live poker element in with all this online stuff as well.
Well, I hope we get to do this together again soon. Joe, you and I will get to do this together again soon. A reminder, there is another installment of PokerStars Retro as we revisit the APPT event from Macau 2007. That is on Thursday on the PokerStars Twitch and YouTube channel starting at 3 p.m. UK time. Until then, thank you for watching MICOOP. From Andrew Neeme, Joe Stapleton, and me, James Hartigan. It's good night from the PokerStars Arena.